A little hard to see in here, ain't it? Yeah, the other remote control?
Prescriptions. It includes antibiotics.
Oh, here it is. What's this here? Is this empty?
Да.
Plus prescriptions for nausea and UTIs and even ivermectin. It's easy. Just match your symptoms to the prescription in your guidebook or call a telemedicine doctor standing by. Take your medication early and feel better faster. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care in your home. No waiting to see a doctor, no lines at the pharmacy.
Smart advice. We've shared the website and discount code below to save viewers $45. Order now and your kit will be rushed to your door. Thank you, doctor.
Doctors recommend Colay stool softener for gentle, dependable relief from constipation. It's so gentle, doctors even recommend it during pregnancy and after surgery. Colay increases water in the stool, making it softer so it's easier to go. Also available in delicious gummies and soft chews.
Hi, folks. I'd like to tell you about YRefi. Did you know that as an accredited investor, when you invest in YRefi, your interest rate is fixed? And did you know that you can invest from 1 to 5 years, and you can spread your investment over those terms to best suit your needs? You also have the freedom to take your monthly interest income or reinvest it wherever you choose. When you invest in YRefi, your interest is calculated daily, you're paid monthly, and should you need your money back early, there is a liquidity feature. Would you like some more information?
För den för veckan.
877-80-INVEST. That's 877-80-INVEST. Or log on to investbyrefi.com. That's investbyrefi.com. For complete details, make sure to review the private placement memorandum and scan this QR code to view the disclosures at your leisure. YRefi, investing in America's future.
Prevagen, official sponsor of U.S. Ski and Snowboard. Karan trusts Prevagen for her brain, and this is her story.
My name is Karan, and I'm from Brooklyn. I work for the city of New York as a police administrator. I oversee approximately 20 people. I did research, and I decided to give Prevagen a try.
So,
I felt
what gives here now? I mean, is this table going to be occupied with this?
I feel confident.
Well, what are you going to do? You going to sit there, you going to finish this tonight, or are you just going to leave
I'm
the shit
gonna find it.
You can't keep occupying tables all over the house with Lego.
You might think Spectrum is just for your home, but Spectrum is seamless connectivity everywhere. It's the network making the other networks sweat. Connectivity from an actual internet, because internet is what you actually use your phone for.
Boy, the nutrients in the food. But at Dr. Marty, we gently freeze-dried premium meats, fruits, and vegetables, locking in their nutrients.
Never kibbled.
You got it, kid, and they're gonna love it.
The growing fallout from the release of the Epstein files and how they've been handled by the Trump administration.
Attorney General Pam Bondi said the Justice Department has released all of the millions of the Epstein files,
Claiming it had fulfilled its obligations under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. That's a little bit up for debate.
Let's be really clear. This is a massive cover-up being led by the White House and the DOJ. This is the Epstein administration. All right, so Pam Bondi's Department of Justice is getting hammered after sending a letter to Congress over the weekend, and not just by the media and by Democrats and Thomas Massie,
Oh
but
my
also by
God.
Trump-aligned Republicans as
Paper.
well. The Congress said all of the
Top.
Epstein files
files have now been released. 3.5 million documents in the DOJ's latest batch have come out. All have been released after a congressional vote, and Republicans really demanding transparency. But the dump has been littered with what appear to be unnecessary redactions. People taken out, there's no really good reason why they would be. Bondi's letter also lists the names of hundreds of prominent people that appear in the files, which some say is a method of kind of washing away or watering this all down. Some of these people have been dead for many years and have absolutely no connection to Jeffrey Epstein. People like Elvis Presley are in the files. Even Trump-aligned members of the GOP have had enough of how this has been handled by the Department of Justice. Nancy Mace, Congresswoman, writing, despite the memo released by DOJ, not all the Epstein files have been released, and the excuses provided for not releasing the files will not hold up in a court of law. This isn't going away until people go to jail. A lot of people do not want to move on from this, and we're about to show you an example of why. A description of a redacted picture that is in the files is a picture that we are not allowed to see. It's completely blacked out, but it sounds like the gang rape of a young girl, an underage girl. There's a warning, it's disturbing and graphic. The details, it's described in the files. The photo shows a girl, her face visible, who looks prepubescent, with medium-length dark hair. Several Caucasian men are holding the girl's legs spread open. Her vagina is visible and gashed, and there is blood coming out. In the photo's foreground, a man with a white shirt appears to be inserting his hand or something into her vagina. A round imprinted symbol of some kind is visible on the girl's leg on the underside of her left thigh. The girl's mouth looks bloody and her tongue is extended. There's a bruise under her left eye and a red mark on the left side of her neck. Her left shin is bleeding and there are purplish bruises on her abdomen. All of that is in the Epstein files, description of a photo that we can't see. So why can't we see it? Why can't they blur out the victim? And why can't they name the people that are in the photo? Why are these people not being charged with crime? Why are they not in prison? There's a lot of questions around this picture. Congresswoman Nancy Mace joins us now to talk about it. Let's start with the picture, your reaction, and what you're trying to accomplish here as you push.
Trashing the U.S. Watch this.
Never in the history of the United States of America has there been a more destructive president than the current occupant in the White House.
None of us in this room, including all of us on this panel,
I
choose to
can't.
live under a regime that was so unaccountable that it could act with impunity the way that Putin does, except that's who Trump is modeling himself.
Don't
Hillary
be
didn't even
even
try to
from
hide
back
how bad her
about
TPS has gotten.
Bowman.
Watch as the Czech Republic's deputy prime minister delicately tries to explain to her why her party is out of power today.
We saw the woke revolution. I don't agree with the gender revolution, the climate alarmism.
Gender women have rights.
I think there are two genders, so but some of us, I think there is male and female, and the rest probably is a social construct. So
Dolphin
something
Cafe
that
R.
went too far.
Does that justify selling out the people
From
of Ukraine
Boven
who are on the
Cap
front lines
Call
fighting
and
to see
Bed
their freedom and their two
Man.
genders? If that's what they're
and
worried
my
about.
head Pam Call.
Sorry, that makes you nervous.
Here with me is Patrick Davis, the founder of Valuetainment and the host of the PBB podcast. Patrick, let's just
From
start by
from
talking about
Fell
this
and
speech,
Bed
Marco
on
Rubio's
Bong
speech. Some are
Fan.
calling it the speech. It's getting a lot of attention, and it's not just for the policy points and the style points, but many are saying that this has elevated him politically, that it's a moment. Give me your reaction. How do you assess him as a leader?
Well, Rachel, great to be on with you. We've always known Marco's been talented, always. We've always seen him on the big screen. We've always seen him as a guy that's capable when he's on stage, just delivering a message in a very unique, powerful way. Set that aside. Now he's got all the experience. I was at a soccer game yesterday with a father who's Venezuelan businessman. We always talk. He comes to me emotionally. He's not a Republican. He says this is one of the, if not the greatest political speech I've ever heard an American politician give.
Well, perfect with F when do the perfect with F when Bowen and welcome to Fun Seven Bell and with him.
Judge who's going to be the candidate for 2028. Marco keeps solving bigger problems more than anybody else on the administration.
Very interesting. Okay, so let's talk about the substance of this speech because he's appealing to nationalism. He's appealing to Christianity and the history of Christianity in Europe. He's appealing to Western civilization. He's saying, stop being embarrassed of who you are. Be proud of who you are.
Newsom's not looking good right now. He's going to
Right,
complaining about America. Hillary Clinton's losing her sizzle. Barack Obama's doing a podcast talking about how bad homelessness is in California. And by the way, the most beautiful thing to look at right now is the following. There's nothing to compliment more than when a president, Donald J. Trump, is producing so many leaders that people are looking at saying, well, what's Besson doing? Besson is so impressive today, what he's doing. Look at Rubio, what he's got going on. There are so many guys that
in the 1500s to the New World, but she seems to see everything through this prism of Marxism, right? Where imperialism bad, colonialism bad, colonialism bad. So, but what her and the other Democrats are putting forward, Patrick, is that this isn't just hold off. You don't have to join this Marco Rubio vision of the world. Just wait, be patient. We'll come back. We'll bring back globalism. Is that going to work? And is she the right messenger of that?
She's not. Well, their job, anytime you're rage baiting the top, you're supposed to say what she's saying. She's doing her job. She's trying to get a reaction out of Rubio. Rubio's not reacting because Rubio in his mind's like, look, I'm solving problems that are world foreign type of problems. You're solving, small little problems in New York and your district. You're not even solving State Departments or national problems. Rubio's at a whole different level. And by the way, this whole thing they talk about the white culture and, let me tell you, it's all about the white culture, this, and, we have a problem with this. Every one of these guys, as much as they bash the white culture in America, they only bash white people. Kamala Harris's spouse, white. Ilhan Omar's spouse, white. AOC spouse, white. Every one of these guys, you keep talking about them. They're trying to go to that. It's not working. By the way, even in Europe, they clapped for Rubio 3 times. It wasn't just once. One time he's just speaking, he's about 17 minutes, 16 minutes into his talk, and he's continuing. They stopped it just to clap for him because the message was unifying, yet he challenged you, yet he complimented you to say, look, we haven't forgotten that we've taken to open the border and allow anybody to come in, and you're forgetting your identity. I thought it was such a perfect, beautiful message put together, and everybody was impressed by it. I didn't think his opponents were impressed by it.
Yeah, I don't think the message was just for those leaders in the room. I think, like you said, the Europeans are watching this and they're saying, what? We could do this? We could do what they're doing over there in the United States, what Trump is doing, what Marco Rubio is talking about. It's very powerful. To AOC, I just want a yes or no because I have to get out of this very quick. Do you think she has a real shot at being the candidate for the Democrats in the next presidential election? The strong polls say she's won.
I think she will eventually be yes, but I think 2028 it's probably going to be Newsom or Pritzker. Even though Kalshi and others show her as number 2, I think it's going to be Newsom or Pritzker.
All right. I'm just going to quibble with you with one last thing, which is she's not solving problems in her district. I've been there. There's prostitution and drugs, and it is a mess. It's disgusting and dirty. But that said, great interview. Thanks for joining us today. Patrick, thank you. Coming up, after propping up Biden for years, Obama suddenly admits the obvious, and that's next.
We know why you've put off your best smile. The time, the cost, the anxiety. That's why Aspen Dental is changing how dentistry is done. With leading implant and denture technology and on-site labs that get you in and out. No more waiting for tomorrow. Now's your time to experience the Aspen Dental difference. Let's start at 0 down, 0 interest, paid in full within 18 months. Aspen Dental. It's time to smile again.
When dry eyes need a boost, up to 10 hours of relief to help you keep going. Relief
No fan.
every blink.
Amen.
Figure out what
After my
low
life,
can
per
feel
icon.
endless. It's not you, it's type 2. Type 2 diabetes is complicated, and it's different for everyone. Using a CGM like Dexcom G7 15-day can help patients see what works.
They just didn't understand
how my body reacted to different foods. When I heard that A1C
Okay.
jumped from like 6.2 to 9.8,
I
oh
got
my
on
goodness,
the
I really gotta get my life
live
together.
Dexcom
after
G7 sends your
content.
glucose numbers right to your smartphone. See
Like,
where your glucose is, where it's headed, and where it's been.
With Dexcom G7, I think I can enjoy anything I want because I get the real-time feedback. I reached my A1C goal. I feel good about my future.
Most Medicare patients pay $0 a month. Call now to get started with Dexcom G7 15-day and receive a free cookbook. Don't wait. Get started today.
CIDP is no walk in the park.
That's true.
But I take Vyvgart Hytrulo self-injection.
Same. It's the first major innovation in CIDP treatment in over 30 years.
Dolphin
And while I still pass
content.
CIDP, I have a chance to live Vyvgart.
Dolphin content content.
Significantly reduce the risk of symptoms.
Man,
But I can treat my CIDP with a once-weekly injection in about 30 seconds.
Oh,
Do not use Vyvgart Hytrulo if you're allergic to its ingredients. It may increase infection risk and cause serious allergic or infusion or injection-related reactions. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, fever, recent or planned vaccinations, allergy history, or kidney problems. The most common side effects include respiratory and urinary tract infections, headache, and injection site reactions. I'm hitting fairway with the fellas.
I'm hitting my number one. That's not vividly with Vyvgart Hytrulo.
Ask your neurologist about Vyvgart Hytrulo for self-injection.
I'm a martial artist, a skydiver, a pilot, and all of them require your feet to work. Get up in the morning, and it felt like I was standing on marbles on my heels. When I went into the Good Feet store, the fitting was personalized. It was all about me. You put in the arch supports, and your day becomes better, and the sun shines, the unicorns run by, and, it's a good life. I'm Randy, and that's my Good Feet story. See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
I'm Allison Lundberg, strategist at AmericanEagle.com. Wagner came to us with a goal to make their website user experience seamless and simplify access to product information for customers. We build enterprise websites like this all the time. Through a fully integrated digital transformation, WagnerSprayTech.com is now a fast, mobile-optimized website with an engaging user experience. For complete website and digital solutions, go to AmericanEagle.com.
Simparica Trio protects against 3 categories of parasites. This drug class has been associated with neurologic side effects, including seizures. Use with results. Get number 1 doctor-recommended Navage.
Which means that processed and Dr. Marty, we freeze-dried premium meats, fruits, and vegetables, and they're going to love it.
48% of Americans don't get enough magnesium, which is vital for bone, nerve, and muscle health. I recommend Qdols Magnesium Glycinate. It's formulated for high absorption and it's gentle on the stomach. Qdol, the brand I trust.
no.
Butterfly shrimp and steak. Tonight, we feast.
Well done like royalty.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Okay, you are banished from the land.
Not yet! Huzzah!
Take a sip.
It smells so good!
Okay.
I can't! Huzzah!
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Well, the guy who helped guide Joe Biden across the stage and threw all his weight behind him in 2024 is now saying Democrats might be too old.
Half of the references that my daughters make about social media, TikTok,
Yeah.
etc., I don't know who they're talking about. Yeah. There is a element of, at some point, you age out. You're not connected directly to the immediate struggles that folks are going through. Democrats do well when we have candidates who are plugged into the moment.
And the golden boy took a not-so-subtle jab at the party's new golden boy. Watch this.
We should also recognize that the average person, doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown.
There you go.
Using political strategy.
Here to discuss is Terry Schilling, president of the American Principles Project, and Chris Bedford, author of
There.
The Beltway Brief. Terry, let's start with you. Obama's clearly taking a swipe at Newsom. What's that all about?
Well, thanks so much for having me, Rachel. Great to be here.
here. Look, it's this all rich coming from Barack Obama, who left the Democratic Party in shambles. He built the whole party around his own personal brand. And what happened? We saw 13 governorships get lost to the Republicans and over 800 legislative seats under President Obama's term. He gave the party communism. You know, he started this whole transgender bathroom craze, transgender everything, really. And he got the country to go back to race rioting. It's totally crazy. It's not so much the age of the people. It's not so much Gavin Newsom in California. It's the policies, and the policies are absolute failures. So until the Democrats diagnose his policies and his agenda as disastrous, they're going to keep losing.
All right, Chris, what do you think about that? Let me ask it to you this way. He also brought up the
Kevin,
age, saying
back
we
to
can't have
go.
these old, out-of-touch
Oh, man, happy birthday, and baby Kevin, back.
California. Is he sort of tipping his hat to AOC, who seems to be the youngest?
The happy birthday, Kevin.
She seems to be holding them hostage.
What?
Yeah, she seems to be holding them hostage. And as Terry said, he did radicalize the Democratic Party. He changed it to the point that in his
Oh,
last few months,
come on.
you could see
Baby Kevin,
by illegal
back.
immigrants in his own White House who he invited there because he wasn't radical enough for them. And when he left, he ended up having them back Joe Biden, who he didn't initially support, but he did because his number one principle, and the principle of the entire party, is actually power. And Joe Biden seemed like he was the most electable out of all the radicals who were on that stage. He backed that. He didn't actually care about the people, the age, the ideas, the youth. He was willing to do what he needed to in order to get to the White House. He spent a lot of time in during Joe Biden's tenure. So when you see Obama come out now trying to fix this, you're looking at the Democratic bench wondering who's actually next. Why is Hillary Clinton in Munich? She hasn't been in power for years. Why is she giving speeches? And by the way, in those speeches, she's attacking Democratic policies in some of the ways because it gets them closer to power. That's the way the
Make
Democratic Party is
an
going, and they're going to
Cocoa
have to with
Puff.
this young bench.
Well, to your point, they don't plan on changing their policies. In fact, what Obama said in his podcast was, he basically said, stop scolding people. So in other words, say it differently. He didn't say change the policies, Terry.
No, that's right. It's because they can't. Rachel, these Democrats are damn if they do, damn if they don't. It doesn't matter what the issue is. If it's immigration, if Democrats actually start deporting people to the levels that Obama did, right? They called him the deporter in chief. They would have immunity on their hands. The Democratic Party would have its own civil war, which we might get into. But they can't moderate on men and girls sports.
Oh,
Or
make
sex change for
an
kids.
Cocoa
They can't
Puff.
moderate on anything, and it's the policy agenda that's so toxic. That's what they need to change.
You know, one of the things I do like about AOC, Chris, is that she's
Cafe,
honest. I mean,
man,
she's saying,
perfect.
she's unlike Obama and Gavin Newsom, who sort of changes his ideas depending on
People
which
will
podcast
find
he's in.
come
She is who
out.
she is. She's a radical. She's a socialist. She's young. She's savvy in
Think
terms
of
of social
fun.
media. She made a what of herself over in Munich, but I think she's a strong candidate in that at least she's authentic, right?
She is. I actually kind of love AOC for that reason because she's a completely honest leftist. Barack Obama would read books about Ronald Reagan, who he admired, or he said he did, and his State of the Unions, if you heard them, it sounded like a moderate Republican approach. His policies were completely different. The party they left behind was completely different. AOC was such a breath of fresh air in some ways. It's not her chief of staff, her first one, and said, it's not about climate change, it's about remaking the economy, about remaking the international order. I've been there for a long time. I'm glad that you agree. She will go out there, she'll put out their positions. And then the America faces is that pressure in this country. Almost got Bernie Sanders in the White House. That put Donald Trump in the White House. That pressure is not relented at all. And that's the kind of pressure that could elect a socialist candidate.
Yeah, I think that party is very angry that they pushed Bernie out, and she's Bernie 2.0, and maybe this time they're going to get what they want. All right. Yeah, thanks so much.
This is the true story of Alex. Recently promoted, he was earning more, but investing for the future, I definitely needed a plan. With his advisor Dennis, Alex invested his savings condominium. Kids? Maybe kids. The point here, Alex has given big goals for his future. He's got a plan to get there.
I wanted to have control over drinking instead of alcohol having control over me. I started with Poor Health about a year ago. It put the brakes on that I had been looking for. I can drink less and say no, and it's the best feeling in the world.
Text Fox News to 710-710 to learn more.
I wish I wasn't afraid to smile. I wish I could get implants.
I wish I knew who to trust. I'm not looking for another quick fix.
I want a smile I know will last. Clear Choice Smiles, made to stand the test. Schedule your free consultation today.
When it comes to my daily heart health supplement, I've got 3 rules. It's got to be plant-based, it's got to be doctor recommended, and it's got to be Super Beet from human.
Super Beet,